A wonderful book that I would highly recommend all of you listen to is Daniel Pink's book, To Sell is Human, which is really about why story matters, why selling is so important. And we view sales as a dirty term, and you might view marketing as something that's beneath you as a business owner, something you don't want to get your hands dirty with. But ultimately, life is about influence, and you're going to influence your wife to marry you, or you're not, or your husband to marry you, or you're not. You're going to influence them to stay with you, or you're not. You're going to influence your children to grow up in a certain way that you believe is the best interest for them, or you're not. You're going to influence those that you're entrusted to lead in your organization, or you're not. You're going to influence your customers, if you own a business, to invest in a better future, or you're not. And you have a choice. And if you do not believe in the power of storytelling, other people do, and some people don't necessarily have the greatest of intentions. So we want to go through what made me a marketer that I think became effective. Was I wasn't a classically trained marketer. I didn't go to school for this. I didn't study this. I was never taught this formally. And I came at it from a fresh perspective and a broader perspective. And, I brought in documentary filmmaking into marketing because I didn't like the way everyone else was doing marketing. I brought in email copywriting from my great mentor, Andre Chaperone, because I didn't like the way everyone else was doing email copywriting. And I brought in all these different things from outside marketing to make marketing better for me and feel better for the way we do it. Because one of the central ideas of this movement, StoryMatters, or this show is inspiration is far more powerful than manipulation. And the reason we hate marketing is it feels manipulative, and we've all done it. I mean, we've all fallen prey to some of the things that are taught out there. But ultimately, when you try to think about your ideal client and who they are, and really get inside their head, and then understand their deepest fears, their greatest hopes and aspirations for their life, and then you provide a path for them to chase that better future, get away from the pain that they're in right now, and you inspire them to, because even if they see it, people are not going to be inspired to join it without a credible path forward. Because it's easier to stay in pain than to strike out, put yourself out there, and risk failure. And everyone around you loves to see you in pain because it makes them feel better about their own life. And so that's the ideas that we're going to be going over in this podcast. And the structure of it is going to be, the first block, or let's say the content block that we're going to do, is Paddy and I discussing the core tenets of story and why it matters. So the next episode is going to be the history and future of storytelling. The episodes after that are going to be on the 3 core lessons that we teach on story and why it matters, which is, first of all, who is your hero? It's not about you when you write your story. It's about the audience, the people that you're trying to impact and lead and bring to a better future. As a business owner, we go deep into that and expand on some of the things that we teach in our video course on that. The next lesson after that is going to be writing the hero's journey, storytelling, and this art of storytelling, and how do you transpose that and map that onto marketing. And a framework, not just for marketing, but really for how do you take the art of storytelling and use it for influence, but specifically for marketing, but it can be applied anywhere. And then the episode after that, we're going to talk about digital storytelling. So how do you map a great story for the person that you want to influence and tell that story digitally? Because the great challenge of the digital age is everyone now has a story to tell. I mean, Paddy, you're self-publishing on an iPhone, and we're sitting here on a podcast microphone on a laptop with absolutely no professional qualifications to be broadcasting as you would have needed 20 years ago. And that's the brilliant thing about the digital age, but it's also the challenge, because everyone is doing this. Everyone can do this. Everyone can put out a podcast. Everyone can put out a YouTube video, a Facebook Live video, and they need no technology and almost no preparation to do it, which means the noise is greater than ever. And if you don't think about storytelling methodically and how to be a better storyteller in the digital age and use the tactics and the tools and the different things that are available to you, you can tell the best story in the world and no one's ever going to hear it.
So yeah, Sam, I think you maybe missed off the podcast episode where we sing.
Oh yeah, exactly. God, I hope not. But
here's the thing, guys. Like, if it isn't obvious by now that we're going to go really deep into story, then it definitely will be in the next episode, which I'm excited about, because I've heard Sam talk about the history and the future of storytelling before. And it's very, very interesting, his knowledge of storytelling, and that episode for me is really exciting. That's the next episode. So if you're with us and this journey sounds exciting to you, then you know what to do. Click the subscribe button, do leave us a review on iTunes, and most importantly, share this with other people who you think are going to be inspired by the power of storytelling.
Yeah, and finally, thank you, Paddy, for being, as you say, the useful idiot to answer great questions, to ask great questions that may seem obvious to me because I'm lost in this world of storytelling and digital marketing. But if I can explain it to you, I think I can explain it to anyone, because you must be like the just great, dumb, loyal dog. I'm just joking. Paddy's actually brilliant in his own life, but he's really good at playing that role of the ask the expert type role. Even though Paddy has phenomenal expertise in his own right, thank you for playing that role, and thank you for being a member of the StoryMatters community. If you made it this far on the podcast, I think you can stand listening to a lot more deep conversations. And if you didn't enjoy the podcast, well, probably best to not continue, because we're going to go really deep and tell lots of interesting stories and different insights that you wouldn't hear anywhere else, because I think this is like the most powerful medium to go deep into this idea of storytelling and get lost a little bit in the power of story with us. And thank you again for joining us. Do leave a review on iTunes if you enjoyed this. Do share this with your friends. Do comment on what you would like to hear in the future on the podcast. We're going to do this in series, like I said. Just outlined the first one, and after that have phenomenal guests lined up for the podcast. And really look forward to going on this journey with you to help you understand and become a better storyteller.
Thank you very much, Sam.
Thank you, Paddy.